G'day gang, Dan here, how you going? Back in the Elder Scrolls Online in the Blackwood. We actually did get cut off by the maintenance right at the end, so I'm gonna finish off that little conversation with Commander Axios.
If there's a chance we can repay what you've done for us, my garrison is at your disposal. You have my word.
You should know that the Painted Eyes demand was a ruse.
I gathered that much from debriefing the hostages. The Painted Eye was after something in that ruin. The one that High Elf scholar was badgering me about. All the years I've commanded this fort, and I had no idea what was under my feet.
What will you and your forces do now?
Make our preparations to mop up the dregs of the Painted Eye and resume possession of Border Watch. Storming a fort is never easy, even if you know the layout like we do. After that, well, I expect I'll be asked to resign my commission.
Why's that?
Because no one has use for a fort commander that loses his own bloody fortress. At least we've gotten the people out safely. That's enough for me. I'll get their home back, and then I'll lay the sword down.
Aw. I'm sure it'll be fine, Commander. Okay, so we now have Pyre of Ambition. So let's open up the zone guide, continue the zone storyline. We need to get over to Gideon. We need to gallop on over to Gideon. Actually, we might as well just use that way shrine that's nearby. It's not too far away. We did discover it, so let's make use of it. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this Blackwood series. If you have, do me a favor, hit the like button. Maybe let somebody know about it. If you know somebody that would like to see a series on Blackwood, see some Nord fella with his buddy Bazza, his little tiger buddy Bazza, and his newly acquired companion, Miri, adventuring throughout.
Adventurer, let us speak.
Legionnaire.
Well met, adventurer. I carry a message for you from the Blackfin.
What does Governor Keshu need of me?
Keshu the Blackfin sent me to find you. She would speak to you at once. The Order of the Waking Flame is on the move. The time has come to choose the ground on which we must meet them. Please, go to Gideon.
Right. I will. I'll travel to Gideon. Oh, here we are. Okay, so back to Keshu.
Gideon is not the ground on which we conduct this fight. There is a better place to defend the ambitions. The Order of the Waking Flame has cast a net around Gideon. Vandacia is gathering an army, including guards from the garrison who were loyal to him all along. He knows the ambitions were here, and that they have now returned.
Have you changed your mind about making a stand in Gideon?
No, the city is no place for a battle. When foes surround you, it is wise to put your back spines to a tree. We will move the ambitions to Fort Redmayne. The Imperials abandoned it years ago, but my Blackfin Legion has been restoring its defenses.
Should I take the ambitions to Fort Redmayne?
No, I have another task for you. Summon what allies you can to Fort Redmayne to help defend the ambitions. I sent my legion ahead, but I fear we will need more warriors. Before you go, tell the ambitions what we are doing and why. They trust you.
I'll speak to the ambitions, and then I'll find allies to defend Fort Redmayne.
Tell the ambitions we will defend them with our lives. Just not here, where so many civilians could be endangered. Let us use Fort Redmayne as the tree against our backs. Evely will see the ambitions safely to the fort. Talk to her before you go.
Where should I go to look for allies?
I leave the specifics up to you. Consider who you have helped throughout Blackwood. Evely might have some ideas. Remember, this is not a mission for just any courier or messenger. The cult has made the roads of Blackwood especially dangerous.
Tell the Ambitions no army of crazed cultists is going to sacrifice them on our watch. But try not to alarm them, which might be tricky. After I send out the call for allies, I'll escort Sombren and the twins to Fort Redmayne.
You mentioned sending out a call for allies.
Right. Anyone with an army that can help us. You head to Leowin. I'm sure Captain Rian would be happy for the Ivory Brigade to lend a hand. Beyond that, what about anyone else you helped here in Blackwood? Anyone have any soldiers they can spare?
Come to think of it, there may be some people willing to help defend Fort Redmayne.
That's great. My brother Baragon always told me that adventures turn on the favors we collect along the way. So, who do you think we can count on?
Well, I helped Commander Axios retake Border Watch Garrison. He might be willing to join us.
The Border Watch garrison of the Ivory Brigade. Great fighters from what I've heard. You should absolutely ask the commander to send whatever support he can to Fort Redmayne.
Brigadier Lieutenant Viria at Huttonzell. He said he owes me.
Definitely go call in that debt. More Brigadiers would be very helpful when the Order of the Waking Flame attacks Fort Redmayne.
I helped the Three Winds of the Stoneways save their village. They might aid us.
The legendary Argonian warriors? I read about them. You have to go ask them. I do hope they'll come. I really want to meet them. You'll ask them for me, right? We could use those kinds of skills at Fort Redmayne.
I'll go and see if they're willing to help after I talk to the Ambitions.
Tell Sombren and the twins I'll be with them shortly. I have a few more details to work out with the governor. After that, go see Captain Rian and then meet me at Fort Redmayne. But don't take too long. I'd rather you were there when the cult attacks.
The Ambitions were rattled by what we learned in the Deadlands.
You went to the Deadlands? And you took the Ambitions with you? What were you thinking?
Sombra knew someone who could help them control their power, but she tried to kill us.
What did you expect was going to happen in the Deadlands? That's where Mehrunes Dagon keeps all his stuff. Well, at least everyone made it back. Now, we just need to keep them safe from Vandacia and the Order of the Waking Flame.
Talking to Sombren? Temple of Dibella?
The Order of the Waking Flame has an army that...
Damn cultists. The Blackfin Legion will give them what for.
I thought you
Something's
said
going on, isn't it? Seems like every Blackfin Legionnaire is in a hurry today. Let me guess. Vandacia's coming for us again.
Heavily will be here shortly to escort you to Fort Redmayne. We can protect you better there.
I know the place. It's an old Imperial garrison, isn't it? I passed by it during my travels after Varen's forces released me from my vault. A fort is more defensible than Gideon anyway. I see the logic. But aren't you coming with us?
I'll meet you there. First, I'm going to try to gather additional allies to help defend the fort.
I swear to protect the twins in your absence. I took Zaina at her word, and it nearly cost Kalia and Destron their lives. I'll die before I put them in danger again.
Did I hear correctly? We're going to a fort? Why do I have a feeling that this story isn't going to have a happy ending?
It's gonna be fine, Destron.
We're moving again? I've barely had time to experience the world outside my vault, and now, well, I may not get much of a chance. I'll go with Evely and Sombren. At least I'll get to see more of the countryside, right?
Right. Okay. Well, Miri, I guess it's up to us. I love that axe he's got there. I want that axe. Wonder if I can... No. Hopefully he just gives it to me. He just says, here you go. Alright, so we gotta go and recruit. Whoops. Went too far away. So we've got to go back to the Stone Wastes. Up to Huttonzell. And also over here. Conveniently, there is a way shrine near every single one of those places, which is great. So let's go make use of the one in Gideon. Hello, C.
There are a lot of relieved villagers here, thanks to your efforts. Well done, friend.
The Blackfin Legion needs help defending Fort Redmayne from the Order of the Waking Flame.
Hostile cultists in Blackwood? That must not be allowed to go unchallenged. The Three Winds will gladly fight by your side in defense of Fort Redmayne.
Thank you, Alusi.
An hour of great danger draws near. I can sense it. The Three Winds will not leave you to face this danger alone.
You're back? We're still cleaning up after the last time you were here. Has something happened?
The Blackfin Legion needs help defending Fort Redmayne against the Order of the Waking Flame.
Counselor Vandacia's cult. Yes, I read the report sent from Leowin. I only met the man once. I didn't like him. I can't imagine what he wants with that old ruin, but you wouldn't be here if it wasn't important. Count us in.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
We owe you a debt for your help with the Argonians. I'm grateful for the chance to pay it back. I'll gather my brigandines and head out at once. See you at Fort Redmayne.
Commander Axios.
Mercenary, we'll be moving to retake Border Watch soon. Or have you returned for some other reason?
The Blackfin Legion needs help defending Fort Redmayne from the Order of the Waking Flame.
Crazed cultists? Retaking our garrison can wait. The Brigandines of Border Watch will stand with you. I do love returning a favor. I'll mobilize everyone I can spare and meet you at Fort Redmayne. We'll fight these cultists together.
Thank you, Commander.
Don't mention it. Reports of Counselor Vandacia's villainy reached me, so I have some idea of what we're up against. I'm happy to lend our support to put an end to this Daedric cult. We'll see you at Fort Redmayne.
Fantastic. Okay, and now we go back to Captain Rian Lore, which is waiting for us over there. Captain Rian Leor.
Mercenary, you have news?
Governor Keshu sent the ambitions to Fort Redmayne, but we need help defending them against the cult.
That explains the reports I received from my scouts. Increased and flagrant waking flame activity in the countryside around Gideon. I take it Vandacia knows the ambitions are there?
We think so. Keshu doesn't want to fight the cult in the city.
Governor Keshu is wise. Gideon isn't as defensible as Leowin. A battle inside the city limits will cause untold damage and deaths among the common folk. Very well, mercenary. The Ivory Brigade will stand with the Blackfin Legion.
Thank you, Captain.
I'll rally the Ivory Brigade here in Leowin, and we'll meet you at Fort Redmayne. We'll stop Vandacia and his cultists. We have to.
What else have you heard from your scouts about the Order of the Waking Flame?
The cultists seem to have moved away from Leowin. I don't think the legates are in any immediate danger, but they're also no longer trying too hard to hide their identity. They're gathering in great numbers and setting up a perimeter around Gideon.
Well, that's Fort Redmayne. That's where we make our stand. Fort Redmayne discovered. Everyone's gathering up. Oh, the winds are here.
You aided our village in its time of need. The winds deliver aid to you in return. Your enemies will not expect what is coming. When the battle starts at Fort Redmayne, we will be at your side.
Great.
I, the Zephyr Eternal, stand with you against these creatures. They shall tremble in the face of my cunning.
Otomira?
May the currents of the swamp drown your enemies and carry you home. The third wind stands ready to slay any who threaten Blackwood.
Great. No drinks nearby? Not yet. Save that for later. Sombrin's here, the Waking... Okay, yep. Keshu's here. Evely's over there. Rian's there. Axios, Lieutenant Viria.
I've heard talk about Rian Leor. Glad to be working with him. If Vandacia's soldiers test us in battle, they won't stand a chance.
You helped us keep peace with the Argonians, so we'll stand with you. You can count on me and my Brigadines.
Captain?
The Ivory Brigade stands ready. I had to leave half my Brigadines behind to protect Leowin, but every soldier here volunteered to come. We'll do our part to defend Fort Redmayne and protect the Ambitions.
Understand why he left soldiers behind. I don't need to ask him about that.
We're surrounded by an army of soldiers, but I feel more alone than ever. I can't stop thinking about the vision we saw in the Obelisk of Inevitability. I can't bear the thought of Vandacia doing that to me and Destron.
That army will protect you from Vandacia and his cultists.
I know they're going to try, but will they succeed? And even if they do, at what cost? I'm not sure how comfortable I feel letting these soldiers put their lives on the line for me and my brother.
Tents, mud, and horse dung. I can't say it's as heroic a setting for a last stand as I imagined. I never thought about the actual smell of a military camp. How could you without ever experiencing it? But, like these soldiers, I'm ready to fight.
Be careful today. Your job is to stay alive and protect your sister.
Sombrin told me the same thing. I appreciate that the world outside my vault is a lot more dangerous and confusing than I imagined. But now that I'm here, I'll do my best to see it for what it is, not what I want it to be.
And how are you doing with your power? You still in control?
So far. Sombrin has been showing us some techniques, and they seem to be working for now. We'll protect each other. After all, we're the only ambitions we know.
This old fort's in decent shape. The Blackfins have done a great job with the renovations. Governor Keshu was wise to move us here. I'll fight alongside you when the time comes. You can count on me.
You stay close to the twins. We think Vandacia is going to try to capture the three of you.
He'll be in for a surprise if he does. I may not have figured out how to teach Callie and Destron to control their powers, but I've been working with them on using their powers safely. We won't let anyone take us anywhere we don't want to go.
You think it's safe for Callie and Destron to use their powers at all?
They're still learning, but as long as I'm present to guide them, the risk isn't too great. I can devote my attention to shaping the power they release, and the strength of three ambitions in concert will be difficult for any foe to overcome.
Evely has been anxiously awaiting your return. She's over by the command tent when you're ready to talk to her.
Alright, Keshu. Evely.
You play the army you're dealt, right? Or march with the army you have? I'm terrible at metaphors. A solid fort at our backs, brave soldiers at our side. Now we just need to wait for Vandacia and his cultists to show up.
You sure you're ready for this, Evely?
If we're being totally honest, I'm as nervous as the last leaf on the tree on the final day of fall. I'm a walk in the woods, loose an arrow at your back, fade into the trees kind of adventurer. An all-out war? That's not my style.
It'll be alright, Evely.
Whew, I mean, I knew that. It just makes me feel better to hear you say it. When Vandacia shows up, we'll kick his ass from here to the Abatian Sea and back. Now, you should talk to Governor Keshu and see where she thinks will do the most good.
Like a storm drawing near, Vandacia's forces come. Time to take our places. I will command the outer defenses. Captain Rian and his brigadines will protect the gate. We will do our best to keep the cultists from getting past us and into the fort.
Where do you want me?
I want you inside the fort near the guardhouse. That's where we'll place the ambitions for safekeeping. It will be up to you to deal with any cultists that get past us, until we can send soldiers to assist you. And remember, they have portal magic.
Do you think we need to defend the gates? Shouldn't we just prepare for them to portal inside?
I expect a two-pronged assault. The bulk of Vandacia's forces will attack the gate, while a smaller group uses portals to get inside. Portal magic is difficult. They could never move an entire army that way. Hence, we must defend from all directions.
Right.
Brigandines, take your positions! The enemy could arrive at any time! Evely, take the ambitions to the guardhouse!
Blackfin Legion, to me!
Alright, they're all prepped. Let's go and join Evely inside. Oh, hey! Alarm, well, what are you doing here?
Soldiers, standing in a line like roast guar legs all in a row. Not my kind of fight. But I'm ready to make myself useful. The Dark Brotherhood owes Vandacia for the insults he wrought upon us. I plan to pay him back. With interest.
That's good to hear. I guess we'll see you inside too. Is anybody else hiding around here that wants to help out? Anybody at the back here? What's this guy? Oh. Oh, I'm sure you'll help out eventually.
Any sign of Vandacia's forces, Captain Rian?
I just received word. The Waking Flame has arrived, and they have portal mages with them. Evely, take the ambitions to the guardhouse.
I'll protect them. You stay here and defend the courtyard.
What? I don't think... Oh! I was about to say, I don't think it's the greatest idea to split up.
Give the order and we'll release a volley.
I will draw him in, but Miri's actually doing a pretty good job going up there and tanking him.
My archers are ready. Give us a target.
Alright, do it.
Lead the enemy to our target.
Maybe I should have joined the buoyant homagers.
Oh, we got a big guy. Big guy who likes to spin. He loves to twirl.
My archers are ready.
Fire it up.
Arrows away. Give the order and we'll release a volley.
It's alright, he's down.
Hold the courtyard, Lieutenant. Mercenary, go check on the ambitions. Portals, just as we feared. At least they can't transport overwhelming forces in that manner. Go check on the guardhouse. Make sure Evely and the ambitions are secure.
Are you sure you don't need me here?
Positive. With the added brigandines the Lieutenant brought us, we'll be able to hold the courtyard. It's the ambitions that concern me now. Get to the guardhouse and stay with them. Enemies could emerge from portals at any moment.
What about outside the fort?
My scouts tell me we closed the gate just in time. It appears the Waking Flame used magic to conceal their approach. The Blackfin Legion is holding them back, but you should make sure the ambitions are safe.
What about you?
I need to make sure we hold the battlements. Deal with any other portals that open, and see what support we can provide to Keshu and her legionnaires. Now go, mercenary. I hear more fighting inside.
I'm going. Let's go, Miri. And Baza.
Oh good, you're here. A little help, please.
Yep, I'm here. What was that?
Julie.
There are more of these abominations on the balcony.
Hold down, are we all clear? No, not quite.
Was that the last of them? Oh, thank feck.
The Wood Elves are here. Oh, he just flung her off the side.
Cracked acorns! I lost track of Sombrin and the twins.
What?
They ran west.
West? West, okay, through here. It's a little battle all around.
I think I'm getting good at this. Well, I probably shouldn't be proud of that.
Which way? This way? Wind it up.
Still no sign of the ambitions? Tangled roots, what a mess! Well, I ran into a lot of Daedra, but no ambitions. Sombrin must be trying to stay one step ahead of Vandacia's forces. Let's split up. You check the inner bailey, and I'll backtrack to make sure we didn't miss anyone in here.
Where did those Daedra you were fighting when I showed up come from?
Portals open all around us, and Daedra poured in without warning. Sombrin grabbed Kalia and Destron and blasted their way out of the fight. When you arrived, my cousins and I were doing our best to cover their retreat.
Where were the ambitions going?
I'm not sure, but they ran west. The inner bailey's in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if Sombrin plans to keep moving. Vandacia will have a hard time finding the ambitions if they don't stand still. And so will we. That's awkward.
Everly? Come on, let's go.
Over here, mercenary!
Vandacia's forces. They're everywhere.
Sombrin, I sense more of them. They're coming.
All of you, under the shield!
Oh, here we go. Where's Everly? Where is Everly?
I'm still here. Thanks for asking.
Time to move! Stay close!
I know you're there, Miri, but where's Everly? What happened to...
There's more coming! All of you, under the shield! Circle around!
You can make it! Keep moving!
Oh.
Keep going! Move!
I have no idea where Everly is. I hope she is alright.
Sombrin, you're only delaying the inevitable.
Monster! Because of you, our parents are dead!
They were the chosen of Merun's Dagon. Rewarded beyond their station.
I'm going to kill you, Vandacia!
Who shall I sacrifice first? Perhaps the sister?
You leave Kalia alone, you bastard!
Destron!
You are an ambition boy. Let me help you fulfill your purpose.
Destron! No!
Lord Dagon, I return to you the power of this ambition. Let the realms merge so you may walk among us.
Whoa!
Sky! And Merun's Dagon!
Oh no.
How is he here?
This is my opposition. How easily I shall crush them.
Into the keep! Quickly!
The worlds are merging, Sombrin. There is no escape. When you tire of running, I will be waiting in the courtyard.
Look at that big boy. Swinging that axe. How are we gonna take that clown on?
I hate you! Just leave us alone!
Talia, you can't unleash your power like that! You could lose control!
What does it matter? You saw what he did to Destron. He's going to do the same to us.
Broken branches? What happened here?
Vandacia sacrificed Destron, allowing Mehrunes Dagon to drag us into his realm. Evely, I need the book you're carrying.
You know about that?
It's part of Dagon. Just like Kalia and me. I sensed it the moment I met you. I think I can use it to weaken Vandacia. Give us a fighting chance.
All right. What are you going to do with it?
Take the fight to Vandacia in the courtyard. He won't expect that. Meanwhile, I need time to prepare.
Go fight the super powerful Daedric priest? How?
Just keep him busy. Then, with the help of this book, I'll take care of the rest.
All right. Sombra needs us to buy him some time. Let's get to the courtyard. I can't believe we lost Destron. I should have been there. Maybe together we could have saved him.
Vandacia lured out Destron by threatening Kalia. We couldn't hold him back.
Yes, I'd probably do the same if someone threatened my brother. Have you seen the sky outside? One ambition gave Vandacia enough energy to merge the entire fort with the Deadlands. What could he do with another ambition or two?
Sombrin thinks he can use your book to help us defeat Vandacia.
Right. Should it concern us that he can read the book and it was all gibberish to me? Maybe the whole reason I found it and carried it all this time was so I could give it to Sombrin now. Maybe he's meant to use it to stop Dagon. I hope that's true.
I hope that's true too. Elam, you doesn't want to speak yet?
I can't believe it. He killed my brother. He killed Destron. Listen, sacrifice me. Let Sombrin take my energy. Then you can kill Vandacia and save the fort.
If you die, your energy just returns to Mehrunes Dagon. That's not really an option.
But my brother and my parents. Vandacia has to pay for that. You were supposed to protect us. You were supposed to save Destron.
Vandacia surprised us. He was too powerful. That's why we need to give Sombrin time to use the book.
Then let me help. Sombrin has been holding me back. I don't care if I lose control, so long as I take Vandacia with me. Find him. Keep him busy. I'll make sure he pays for Destron.
I'll find Vandacia and give you and Sombrin the time you need.
I can't let Destron's death be for nothing. With this book, I think I can help us defeat Vandacia and once again separate the realms.
You said you knew Evely had the book when we first found you. How?
I can't explain how being an ambition works. I don't really know myself. But I can sense things that are like me, that have the same taint of Dagon upon them. This book practically reeks of it. I think this is the Mysterium Xerxes.
It's Dromora who helped us, Lyrinth. That's what she called it.
Zyna's contracts mentioned it. The rites it describes allowed Vandacia to imbue us with a portion of Dagon's energy. I think he took a little for himself along the way, which is why he's so powerful. I want to try to take that energy away from him.
Will that help us defeat him and return Fort Redmayne to Blackwood?
I'm not sure we left Blackwood. The two realms are merging around this fort. We could be on Nirn, or in the Deadlands, or maybe someplace in between. If I can weaken Vandacia and you can destroy him, that might break the connection and set us free.
Then do what you can, Sombrin. We'll be ready. Let's go, Everly. Everly and Mary.
Immortals call this a fortress. Its very stone crumbles in my presence.
The Brotherhood sends its regards. Keep going. There's still cultist blood to spill here.
That's the way, buddy. That dude just got eaten.
Pathetic. Are those arrows or flea bites?
See, everything's fusing.
Tremble before me as your realm becomes mine.
Vandacia should be just through that door. I'll cover you from the battlements.
Where'd she go? Everly. Ugh. Stop splitting up. Well, I guess it's better for her anyway to be higher up.
The power of the Lord of Fire and Flood flows through me. You cannot stop what is happening.
Get ready, Kalia. Just like I showed you.
You're going to pay, Vandacia. Mercenary, help us drain his power.
You got it.
This is for my brother!
Dear, merging the realms is delicate. One mistake and both could be destroyed.
Watch out! Oh!
Master Tom, give me that boy!
Got incoming.
I'm with you, my friend. We'll defeat Vandacia together.
Oh, Everly's down here.
My archers are ready. Give us a target.
Right here.
Lead the enemy to our target. We're ready. Tell Kalia when to strike.
Do it.
You wanted our power? Here!
You can't avoid your fate's ambitions!
Oh, Miri went up there.
More of the area slides from the Deadlands, the greater Dagon's influence will be.
My brigandines are here to help. My archers are ready. Give us
Alright.
a target.
I'm bringing them over.
Arrows away! Give the order and we'll release a volley.
We're
about to loose. Lead the enemy to our target.
We can drain Vandacia's power. Just give the order.
We're not going to die for Mehrunes Dagon!
I grow tired of this game. You cannot stand against Mehrunes Dagon's power!
Out.
Beck, I hope you're watching. Use a
Watch
stamina
out!
trap.
For Dagon, I need more power!
Vandacia's weakening!
This is it. Final round.
My archers are ready. Give us a target.
Flash may get noticed, but style gets remembered.
No volley.
Give the order and we'll release a volley.
Talia will attack Vandacia when you give the word.
Do it.
This is for my brother!
Enough of this! The Master wants to rebel. He will have it. My death will change nothing. The merge is almost complete.
That one put up a fight, didn't
Die,
it?
you bastard!
You defeated my high priest, mortals. That was unexpected. And before he completed emerging, that is unfortunate. Though this realm slips from my grasp, your fate is inevitable. You will join me or die on missions. It is why you were created.
We did it. We stopped Vandacia from merging the realms and opening the way for Mehrunes Dagon.
But my brother... Destron is still dead.
I failed Destron. But I won't fail you.
All right. Without Vandacia or his master, the cult doesn't stand a chance.
At least the sky looks normal again.
I need to get out of this place.
This way, Kalia. Come with me.
I can't believe it! We defeated Vandacia, saved Sombren and Kalia, and sent Dagon running with his tail between his legs. Does he have a tail? Anyway, we won! Destron would be proud of his sister. She fought bravely through the entire battle.
I'm not sure we could have beaten Vandacia without Sombren and Kalia's help.
Yeah, I guess Varl Lupus was right. We did need that strange book. In fact, I think I was meant to give it to Sombren. I couldn't read a word of it, but he cast spells from it like it belonged to him.
Not sure anyone should use that book. Not if it's really the Mysterium Xarxes.
Tangled roots. Sombrin did good. And I don't want to take it back. Those dreams and visions would have driven me crazy eventually. I think Sombrin's a good steward for the book. He can keep it safe so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Alright. Let Sombrin hang on to the book. For now.
Now I can add facing down a Daedric prince to my already impressive list of accomplishments. Food connoisseur, master assassin, consummate Vosa Sattel player, and now this. I suppose I should thank you for getting me mixed up in this.
Mehrunes Dagon won't stop trying to capture the ambitions. Will you continue to help us?
Nope. Vandacia made this personal, but I try not to make a habit of killing people for free. It's bad for business. You do what you have to. Me, I'm going to find a nice mammoth steak with a side of vegetables smothered in scuttled cheese sauce.
Food is more important to you than the threat of Mehrunes Dagon?
Hey, I never claimed to be a hero. And despite our success today, I don't want to face Daedric threats on a regular basis. Then again, who knows what tomorrow will bring? Seeing you in action, I'm sure you'll turn up on a contract eventually.
If you say so. Okay. Let's leave the fort. Oh, they're just on the other side. Everyone's hurt.
Given what they faced, Blackwood's defenders did a remarkable job of not getting stomped into paste. Good on them. Now, I need to think about dinner. I'm famished.
This guy. Kesher.
Victory is ours, mercenary, thanks to you. I think you should talk to Sombrin and Kalia. Then we can discuss what has happened.
That battle was not what I expected. Things were getting out of hand for a time, what with Mehrunes Dagon stomping around, knocking down towers and crushing anything in his path. I'm glad that it's over. And I'm glad that you fought by our side.
Where's the winds? Did they make it through? I hope they did.
I'm sorry about Destron. Whatever you need, I'm here for you.
It's heavily. Not sure where they are.
I'm still alive. I can't believe I survived all that, but Destron didn't. It's not fair. None of this is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
Learn to control your power and carry on.
Easy to say, hard to do. Still, so many people fought to protect me today. Even though my heart is broken, for their sakes, I'll find a way. Destron would want me to.
Sombrin will figure out how to teach you to control your power.
I hope so. Not just for my sake, but for the other ambition, whoever they are. Without Destron, they and Sombrin are the only family I have left. I'll try to be there for them. I really will. For now, we're heading back to the temple if you need us.
I've been alone my entire life. First in my vault, And then in my wanderings, I finally found a real family, and I let one of them get taken from me. I promise you, I won't allow that to happen again.
I'm sorry about Destron. But we stopped Vandacia and saved Tamriel.
For now. But I don't think it's over. There's another ambition to find. And I can't imagine Mehrunes Dagon and his followers leaving us alone after all the time and planning that went into creating us. I think we'll head back to the temple for now.
What will you do with the Mysterium Xarxes?
I'm not sure. It belongs to Evely, not me. I'd like to study it, see if there's some way to free the ambitions and change our destiny. But I know it's also dangerous. Let me think about it a little more. Then I'll talk with Evely.
Mehrunes Dagon said you would join him or die. We need to make sure neither of those things happen.
Daedra spin great lies from small truth when it suits them. I know that now. It was Zaina's last lesson to me. We won't join him and I won't let him kill us. We just need to come up with a way to keep any of that from happening.
Any idea on how we find the remaining ambition?
Yes. I wonder who he is, or she. Are they still trapped inside a vault? Or did they find a way to escape like I did? I hate to think of them alone and unprotected. But maybe it's better if they remain hidden.
Won't they be in danger of destroying themselves, though?
Right. I almost forgot about that. I need to figure out how to keep Kalia from being consumed by her ever-increasing power. And them, too, once we find them. I suppose I have a lot to consider, and not a lot of time to do it.
Okay, talk to Evely. And Keshu.
The people of Blackwood owe you their gratitude, mercenary. You and Evely both. If not for your courage, Vandacia and his Waking Flame cult would have unleashed unthinkable destruction. The losses would have been devastating.
Speaking of losses, how did the Blackfin Legion and Ivory Brigade fare in the battle?
It could have been worse. We did well against the cultists. They were not trained soldiers, and when Mehrunes Dagon appeared, we faded into the mud and grass. Dagon did more damage to his own minions than he inflicted on our forces.
Your combined forces helped save Sombra and Kalia.
When a fire rages, my neighbor's hut is my own. That is Argonian wisdom. We defend ourselves by defending our friends. Those who died today died well. We do not mourn them. We will celebrate their sacrifice and cherish our victory back in Gideon.
Governor Keshu made the right call bringing the ambitions here. Can you imagine what would have happened to Gideon if Mehrunes Dagon appeared over the egg and hammer? We didn't just save Sombra and Kalia. We saved Gideon. Maybe all of Blackwood.
So, the ambitions were an elaborate scheme to merge Dagon's power with Nirn, so he could conquer it?
That seems to be the long and short of it. I'm sorry we couldn't stop Vandacia from murdering Destron, but at least we took care of that rotten tree stump in the end. Despite all that, I feel pretty good. It's not every day I get to save Tamriel.
Do you think we've seen the last of the Order of the Waking Flame?
That would be too much to hope for. I'm sure some of them slipped away. It will take a while for them to find a leader as powerful as Vandacia, but I expect them to show up again at some point.
Well, you did it, Evely. You discovered the truth behind Leovik's secret.
Not by myself, I didn't. You helped. What started as an historic mystery turned into a tale of murder, living Daedric weapons, and the end of the world. How do we follow that? Oh, I know. With flagons of rot meth and lots of roast paws on a stick.
Sounds good to me.
What now? Can't we just rest for a while and bask in the glory? I know there's another ambition out there, and we need to keep Sombra and Kalia safe, but still. Oh, Keshu asked me to give this to you. A reward for defending Blackwood.